Hello. Oh, I gotta change this. 1 second, guys. I apologize for some reason. There's prop. Um, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the 3D rocket view, and I don't know where she is. 3D view. Here we go. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so I think it's this one. No, wrong one. Wake me up inside. That was supposed to be that one. Nice. Cool. There she is. Okay. So, here we go, guys. We do have our launch trajectory that is coming out of California. Guys, we have a rocket launch out of the state of California here. We are going to be adjusting our parameters for our timing. So, let's get the time up there. I'm sorry, this is a little bit of a last minute hoorah. Okay. Sinking. Okay. So, the current count. Hey, Tina, how are you? Guys, tap your screen, tap your screen, tap your screen. So, for those who don't know, we do have a launch tonight. We do have a rocket launch tonight out of California. If you're in Los Angeles, you very well could see this. So cloudy out, not going to be able to see it. Really? Is it cloudy over there? Are you serious? Is it cloudy? Why is it cloudy? We do have propellant load underway, so it appears that we're going to have the launch. It doesn't look like there's going to be any issues with that. That's a plus. Privet, when is it? Look on the screen. On the screen top right there. Live rocket launch T-minus 17 minutes, 23 seconds. So, yeah. We are getting very, very near, guys. So, yes. You know, it's not always cloudy. It's not always cloudy, but some of these times it does come out to be cloudy. You know, as long as there's no major wind, that's the big thing. As long as there is no major wind. What we got going on, guys. This is what we have going on. Hey, Catherine, there you are. Where is it launching from? Vandenberg Space Force Launch Complex over in California. Look at the VAB. Look at the vehicle assembly building. Super beautiful. That is in Florida at Cape Canaveral. What you guys are going to see, and above me, what you may see above me here is going to be the launch parameter here. It's going to come down to Baja, California, and she is going to land off of the coast of Mexico and California right here. And right there we have our drone ship. This is the autonomous drone ship she's going to be landing on. Hey Cheryl, what's up? How are you? What's up with the astronauts? So, little issue. So, the Boeing spacecraft that they are in, the Starliner, is only rated for 45 days in space. After 45 days, they are unable to put people inside of it. July 20th is the cutoff date. It has to be back by July 20th. If it's not, then it has to come back unmanned. The situation, though, is their suits and their life support system, you know, that umbilical cord is their life support system. When they click in, that's their heating, their cooling, you know, because those suits are pressurized. Those suits are custom made to that person, you know, and the connector is only for Boeing. Like, it's not for SpaceX. There's no universal suit connector for the life support system, you know. So that there is a major issue. We can send up a Dragon capsule. The issue is that they don't have suits for them. Those suits are strictly for the Boeing Starliner. So they are stranded, you know? And there's so many people in the comment section who'll sit there and they'll be like, oh, they're not stranded. He's lying and all. They're bootlickers is what they are. They're bootlickers, you know? They always say, well, NASA said it's safe. And I'm like, yeah, they also said Challenger was safe. They also said Columbia was safe, and it wasn't. You know, NASA knows. And I've spoken to engineers at NASA who follow me, and they're like, yeah, we have a shitstorm on our hands. Like, we're not supposed to talk about it. But, you know, because they're risking Sonny and Matt and them, they're risking those two astronauts' lives to come back. No, because they don't, like, they didn't take a 3D scan of these people to where they could just make a suit out of them. Like, you actually have to be there to measure, to fit, you know? Oh, the issue is, so Boeing and Lockheed Martin, I want you guys to understand that. Boeing and Lockheed Martin are in a joint ventureship with ULA, which is United Launch Alliance. That's the Atlas V rockets. That's what they're anticipating to use. Well, NASA is coming out with the SLS, the Space Launch System. And with the SLS, which is supposed to get us into quote-unquote deep space, that alone is... ULA is helping with it. They don't like talking about it because it's a NASA product. But, oh yeah, you know, like, there's a lot that goes into play. And so... is NASA going to tell Boeing they can't do this again? No, they're not going to. You know, that would be like taking the hand that's feeding you all this. Tea. Okay, so I'm going to try to get ready for the media feed that comes up, so please forgive me here. Okay. Actually, what is going on here? So, I need to see something. Oh. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. I am sorry about that. This is Starlink 9... What are we on? 9-20, I think. What are we on? Well, I'm going to pull it up right here, and I can tell you exactly what we're on. 9-2. Spaceflight. Spaceflight now. 9-2. Okay, so. We're going to adjust the clock here just a bit. I think. Okay, the clock should be fairly spot on, fairly. Okay, so 11:47. As of right now, there's no delays. There is backup opportunities for 4 hours. Hopefully, we don't need those. So it should be good. Media feed begins in about 3.5 minutes, and then we'll be up. Let's go. Right? It's all about money. It's all about money when it comes to space, you know? That's why SpaceX exists, was because rocket launches were super expensive. Now, to me and you know, oh, $6 million, that's a lot of money. But when these companies are spending it 3-4 times a year to launch a satellite because they're expanding what they do, communications, whatever, they'll take $6 million over $40 million, you know? Where is its destination? So, if you look above me, it's going to be taking a, like a polar orbit here. It's going to come around, go down over Brazil. I'm sorry, Chile. And it's actually a straight line, and then when it comes around, it's actually going to come up over like India, portions of India, and Kazakhstan and Russia, and it's gonna come up, and it's gonna be taking basically this pathway so many times a day, you know. Now, this does show that it could be. We may get the launch data a bit sooner, is what I'm thinking. Because if. Let me see here. And that's synced. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out how this is going to go. It's always interesting when we do this, how it's actually going to look and go, you know. I was looking. What's up, Papa? How you doing? David, what's up, buddy? How you guys doing? Just saw you in the YouTube chat. How are you guys tonight? How are you guys? So, yeah, this is going to go. We may hold off on the data. Just I can trigger that separately here, so that way it's in line with everything else, because it can get a little wonky. I'll be honest with y'all. It can get a little wonky. Because we get the data much sooner, and much sooner, I mean like 10, 15 seconds before the actual launch. But I can actually offset that, so we should be good. We should be good. Except I don't want to do that until after we get this media feed up here in about 60 seconds. Once the media feed comes up, then we're able to sync our clock with theirs, and then we go from there, if you will. This is from this is from California, Vandenberg. You guys can see on the screen there. That is California launching south of Baja California. Yeah, because it's only between 8 and 12 is when they usually launch out of Vandenberg. It's later in the evening. Nothing abnormal with this. Just shocking that we don't launch manned flights from California. Oh, shock. Okay, so media feed is coming up now. Media feed is coming up there. Okay, so once we figure out what talk to SpaceX. It's Boeing. No one likes Boeing, let's be honest. No one likes Boeing. Catherine, I saw your message. You're like, okay, I'll join the live. Nini, thank you. Cheryl, thank you. I just saw those pop up there. Thank you, guys. 20 Starlink satellites, and this includes 13 direct-to-cell phone satellites. So, SpaceX is working on their Starlink product to provide cell phone service over satellite. Ooh, look at that. That is one of their satellites. Look at that. That is super cool. It's all about money, and I never really did understand that. It's all about money. Always about money with them. Hey, yo, can we like get the get the feed up? Like, what is going on? Hello, Hawthorne. We're awaiting your feed so we can sync our clocks. We don't have much time. Let's sync our clocks. Oh. Let's sync our clocks. Money, money, money. In fact, I think our clocks should be mostly synced unless they're just working a bit better tomorrow. Thank you. How are you tonight? Money, money, money. Okay, 458. Okay, we are a little fast. That's the issue. We are a little fast. I think we were actually pretty close on earlier. Okay. Yeah, okay. So there is like a 6-second. I do see that. There's about a 6-second delay. We run NDI, so it's just a little wonky, if you will, you know. So just gotta bump this back up here. My apologies here. I'm trying to make sure we get this pretty spot on here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so actually 42. No, I was right. I'm sorry, we were pulling in a different feed. That's the issue. I pulled in a different feed. My bad. Where's 2 seconds off? I was right. Okay, so we were right from the beginning. I'm an idiot. I am so sorry, guys. I'm good. We're good. We're good. We do just have to adjust this by about 7. Okay. We're good now. We should not have an issue. Should not have an issue. Should not have an issue. And you just go back up 1 and we are good. Okay. Okay. Is this SpaceX? Yes, this is SpaceX. Guys, tap your screens there.
Stage 1 lock slot is complete.
Get you some mission control audio there now. Two minutes, 36 seconds on the clock. Okay, so we should be good. We should be good. So, what you are going to witness is the up here above me at the 3D rocket view. You will witness the 3D view of the rocket in real time. So that is in real time. The data and the video and audio is synced up. We are running roughly about 30-second delay on it, so just beware of that. Unless I'm able to hold off on that, I may be able to. Actually, I can.
Stage 2 lock slot is complete.
I think we can roll with this. I think we can roll with syncing it. I'm gonna sync it. So it's still all a work in progress, guys. So please beware. It's still a work in progress. Look at that. I think we're going to be able to sync this without issue. Okay. I think we're synced. I think we are synced. Trying to get everything on that delay is a broadcast nightmare, I'm going to be honest with you. But, guys, we are about 1 minute away right now. We're about 1 minute away.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
And she is ready to fly. Hopefully we don't have any lag this time. I really worked on that. I really worked on that. So we should be good.
LD is go for launch.
And you just heard that call out. That is the launch director. The launch director confirmed they are go for launch as we near 30 seconds. There we go. I believe everything is synced, and I believe we are good to go. 20 seconds on the clock.
15. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And the liftoff of Falcon 9.
Here
go
she
SpaceX.
goes.
Go direct to self.
Here she goes, guys. So you guys are seeing a real-time view, both 3D and visual.
Pitching downrange.
That guy sounds like he
Propulsion
is
is nominal.
getting a good bonus after this. So as we can see here, throttle is at about 95% right now. She's about 200 miles per hour and pulling over about almost 1.6 Gs on the first stage of telemetry. On the right hand side of your screen, you will see the propellant start to be used up there in those Merlin engines as it is fired. Again, if you're watching above,
Power and telemetry nominal.
you're going to witness the rocket here as she begins to pitch downrange 52 seconds after launch. And the throttle is starting to come back here as we near max Q.
Supersonic.
Yep, so right there, that call out there is right at about 780 miles per hour.
Max Q.
Maximum dynamic pressure is max Q. They will throttle back there. You know, we're over 1,000 miles per hour. Throttle's at about an 86% right now, and that is due to maximum dynamic pressure known as max Q. Right, Catherine? Right? Vehicle is about 11, almost 12 miles
And back till it
above
started.
ground here. She is going at almost 1,800 miles per hour, now almost 2,000. She is really starting to go here. We are going to be seeing stage separation very, very soon. She's pulling almost just shy of 3 Gs right now on that first stage. Still at 86% throttle at 23 miles above ground. Yeah, sure. I mean, the nice thing is, once you study the whole SpaceX process, very little changes. You know, now Starship is a whole different beast because they do a lot of different maneuvers that are kept close to the vest. You will begin to see the curvature of the Earth there, which is super, super awesome.
Main engine cutoff.
So you're going to see in the screen above me
separation
here,
confirmed.
as that begins to separate here.
And back ignition.
Okay. Okay, we got stage separation. You guys just saw the stage separation on the 3D model up above me. So what you guys are, okay, right there, we are going to have the grid fins actually start to deploy. So when you're above 65,000 feet, you're not allowed to use GPS guidance because you're super close to GPS satellites. So they use these grid
Parent
fins to
separation confirmed.
basically guide this thing back to its ship or back to the ground, wherever it's going to be landing. Now, we did have fairing separation. That there is the satellites you just saw. And you can see them floating away there in the background. That is the Earth that you see on the top left of the screen there. That is the Earth. We do have beautiful... Oh, we can see some particles there in the back. You can see that they're on that camera feed. Stage 1 is... about 68 miles above Earth right now, 69 giggity, and it's at about 4,400 miles per hour. Now, stage 2, as you guys see, stage 2 on the bottom right of your screen here, which this is stage 2, she's at about 97.5% on that throttle. She's nearing 6,000 miles per hour, and she's, again, once you're in space, you know, it's like 1 G. You don't even feel it. Once you get past there, you don't even feel it. Super, super beautiful. You can see the engine starting to fire as stage 1 is going to be coming in for its landing. Stage 1 here is at about 40, just shy of 4,400 miles per hour, and she is starting to pitch down from 72 miles. So she is going to start to come in very soon back into the atmosphere. Now, this is that stage 2. You guys can see on the bottom right of your screen, whenever the big old circle's red, that means that she's fired. We're pulling in some live data from the rocket right now. Here she goes, nearing 7,000 miles per hour. Look at that, 7,000 miles per hour, about 1.21 Gs. Now, this is stage 1 you guys are looking at here. This is where she's going to start to pitch down and come back. She is about 65 miles above Earth right now. Stage 2 is still going full throttle. Stage 2, as you guys can see, it's definitely going to be going for a longer apogee as she nears almost 8,000 miles per hour. The fuel is up in the top right. I want you guys to see that. That is up in the top right. You can see a little bit down on the south side, which I'm actually going to try to see here. If I can adjust that so you guys can see this. Let me see something here. I'm going to try to adjust something here. Give me a second. Okay.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Okay. So, you guys can now see... Ooh, look at that. Okay, so that's beautiful, but also that is beautiful as well. So, stage 1 is starting to come back now. As we can see, that thruster is up to about 83, a little over 83% here. Those Gs are almost 5 Gs and climbing.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
What that did is basically it's burning away a lot of that speed there. And there we go. Engine is shut off. She's going to come gliding on in. Beautiful, beautiful jack-o'-lantern pumpkin flying through the sky, you know. Absolutely love that view. This is nearing on 11,000 miles per hour on the stage 2, and she's about 95 miles above Earth. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Stage 1 on the bottom left of your screen there. She's still coming in. Those grid fins are, as you can see, is really starting to shed away a lot of that speed. It's at 7 miles, 6.5, 6 miles, 5.5 miles, 5 miles. She is coming in very, very fast here. 4 miles, 3.5.
Stage 2.
3 miles. We'll be pulling up the drone ship footage here. We should, whenever she fires her engines, you're going to see one last burn as she comes in for a landing. We should illuminate the ocean to where you can actually see. Here she is. Okay, let's see. Do we have a drone ship in sight? So we're 1 mic above.
Stage 2 in terminal guidance.
Half mic. I got ship in sight. I got the ship in sight. You guys see the ship?
Landing leg deploy.
Okay. Landing legs are down. Landing legs are down. Cutting in, cutting in, cutting in. She is confirmed.
Confirmed.
There she is. She is confirmed. Look at that, guys. Look at that. She is standing up. She is standing up here. As you guys can see, stage 2 is still going at almost 16,000 miles per hour. She's at 87 miles above, but she's pulling in almost 4 Gs. But that fuel is almost fully spent. She's going to shut down now. So, yep, there she goes. Engine is shut down. We got the data of it shutting down. And that there is where they're going to deploy this in about 35 minutes there. So, that there would be our launch for the night. That was Vandenberg. Now, they did do the one from the Cape a little bit earlier. What a movie, right? So, super, super awesome. That there, yeah. So, and then our data kind of just shuts off there, you know. But, as we can see, it's up there. That there included 20 satellites for the Starlink, which is a division of SpaceX. It's a company. Provides high-speed, reliable internet globally. 13 of those 20 satellites will be those direct-to-cell satellites. So that means that you'd be able to get a SIM card through Starlink and have phone service over satellite. Now, typically, that would be, you know, probably like $10-15 a month. Don't quote me on that, but it would be something very cheap, and it would be a failover or an eSIM, I should say. You don't even need like a physical SIM. You could do an eSIM, and what that would do is act as a failover. So in the event that you're somewhere without service entirely, you'd be able to get Starlink, which is super awesome. Yes, daily winning clips. They do provide that footage on the official Twitter account for SpaceX. It will be up in probably less than 1 hour. Typically, about 30 to 50 minutes post-launch is when they do the deployment of the satellites. So there is that. No additional word on the Boeing Starliner. It's really screwing up their schedules up at the International Space Station. It's really screwing up their schedules. So we'll have to find out what is going to be the plan. Either they're going to come back in the death trap of the Starliner CFT, of the crew flight test, or they are... I don't know. They may somehow come up with a connector between the two suits to where they could adapt that and come back in on SpaceX. Now, that would be something very interesting because, again, August is when we're planning for the next splashdown of Crew 8, who is currently up there right now. So, with that being up there, I saw a lot of comments from people saying, well, why can't they just come back in August? They don't have that many seats available. The suits are not compatible. There's a lot different. And even then, I don't even think it would just be a connector issue. It wouldn't even be a connector. You would have to have a full-out new suit. And it's, the pressurization of the suit is more or less what really matters. It's not like a flight suit. You could wear a size bigger than you need to on, say, a medical helicopter, a race car, stuff along those lines. These suits, though, provide pressure fully around to prevent things like the bends and stuff, to where you could lose consciousness, and that's not what we want upon a re-entry. So there's a lot more that goes into just, well, why can't they come back on SpaceX? Over San Diego, went over our hotel. That's awesome. That's awesome, local guy. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, if you're in the Los Angeles area, this thing's coming directly south to Baja California. Should be able to see it. And yeah, I mean, I was close there. Yeah, no, but I've been seeing some of the comments and everything, and I think the issue is a lot of people don't quite understand it. Like, they will Google something, and they'll Google and say, are the astronauts stranded? Of course NASA's going to say, no, they're not stranded, Like, these people are bootlicking, and it's absolutely disgusting, It's just like what they Googled. When NASA said that they're not stranded, so you're lying. It's not stranded. There's a lot more that goes into it, One, food supply, They only have so much food up on the ISS, and they wasn't planning for this extended trip. It messes up the whole cycle of, we had these crews that's supposed to be coming to the ISS. You can't have too many people up there. So there's that. The Starliner's only rated for 45 days. After 45 days, I don't think that they would want anyone. It was only rated for 45 days in space. That's all it was. Could it possibly last longer? Yes. But again, you're really looking at issues. Who's to say that when they don't undock, and they're in there, and then all of a sudden, as they kick those thrusters in after they get away from the keep out zone, it blows the main ballast, and then boom, you got no more fuel source to get back to Earth. We don't have the space shuttle anymore. We don't have the shuttle that could go up there with, like a Canada arm and grab a hold of it and throw them into the payload bay. Like, we don't have that capability any longer. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Let me see here. It's supposed to be the Crew 8, but we don't quite know. So it was just August of 24 is all we know, and right now, it's like, what do we do? Because like the Crew 8 So the crew 8, there's 4 people on crew 8 right now. We have one of the Russians, and we have two male from U.S. and one female from the U.S. It's supposed to be sometime in August. It's just. Yeah, it's supposed to be. It says undocking date is August of 24. Docking date was May 2nd, and the undocking date is supposed to be August of 24. Okay, so here you go, guys. That is what it looked like over San Diego right there. Take a look at that. That is what it looked like over San Diego. So, local guy, that's I guess that's what you saw. Is you saw the what we like to call like the jellyfish, the octopus. Heard that goes well, right? No, SpaceX launch didn't go bad. No, SpaceX launch didn't go bad. We're just in Yuma. Yeah, no, we're just talking about right now basically the issues with the whole Boeing situation. I mean, I don't know. I think that Boeing, because the issue is, so there's going to be like an Apollo mission to where as they're coming back, they jettison the service module. They jettison that service module. So they can't save it to where they could inspect it, And the question is, do they want to have a crew do an EVA, an extra, an external vehicular activity to where they actually go out of the space station and actually tear apart this freaking death trap and try to see what's going on with it? Because the issue is, the big situation is this. They undock, they come back. Cool. Well, they don't know what went wrong with it. They have an idea, but they don't have any visual pictures. Second scenario is they keep it at the space station and they tear it apart and they try to either fix it or they investigate to see what's wrong with it. Okay, cool. You look at it, either A, they can look at it, try to fix it, and then they risk that coming back with them in it and it failing. They either B, take it apart, and as they do that, now they have a bunch of space junk that they just can't get rid of. If you were to disable that one, it's taking up a docking port. That ain't good. So it's taking up a docking port. And 2, what do you do with it? You can't just you can't undock it and it just goes out and burns up on re-entry. You can't do that. I mean, if you take this thing apart and don't put it back together and she's stuck up there, you now inherited a big piece of space junk on your space station. It takes up real estate. So, there's a whiteboard. I guarantee you, there's probably a whiteboard down at Johnson in Houston, and they're probably like, okay, here's option A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I guarantee they probably have 6 or 7 options, if not more, because the issue is NASA works in contingency. They work on contingency all the time. Cool. You have 10 options there. Now it's a family tree because all those 10 options now have contingencies. Okay, so you're going to have, let's say there's 10 options. They're going to have 10 teams come in. Great. You guys work on a contingency for this. And then, let's say contingency A is we come back. We don't touch it. We come back. Great. Contingency A now, it's going to have a little leg like a family tree. Contingency A is all thrusters die. Contingency B is all the helium evaporates. It leaks out. Helium or contingency C, what if we lose pressurization? Contingency D, what if we lose life support? And they have to go down all of those paths. And that's why, for example, when we heard that audio come over air to ground and they were like, get the commander back in his suit and blah, 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 and all this, those were contingencies. They called out, go to 9.117 paragraph 3 section 2. There is a fucking phone book. It looks like this thick for everything. It's like a giant, and they will go there, and then that is what has been approved, and that is how they do what they do. Is it's all contingency based, like for those who don't know, every launch they do that is manned, they come up with a speech. They come up with a speech for in case they die on launch, they die on reentry, they die in space. They have a letter that is already wrote up that NASA and the President of the United States will speak and say. Like, they have contingencies for everything. And so the issue is, did they expect this to happen? Yes, they expected something to happen because of the previous helium leaks on the ground. The issue being, though, is you got a lot more leaks, like this thing here is a bucket of bolts. And when you look at this as a whole overview, they say, oh, well, if they need to undock an emergency, they can, and they can re-enter. Yes. Why? Because as that flight surgeon had said last week, well, it's a best effort thing we can do. It's better than doing nothing. Would you rather suffocate up in the space station because there's a fire? No, I'm going to go for the thing that may or may not let me live, So them saying, oh, well, they're not stranded. If they need to come home, they absolutely can. Yeah, it's just like running a vehicle with bald tires. It's like running a vehicle with a bad wheel bearing. Can you do it? Yeah. Is it the safest? Hell no. Should you? No. But it's better than walking 20 miles, That's the big thing, is it's really down to how much do you want to gamble. And I guarantee you, they're probably having daily meetings with those astronauts up there from Boeing, and they probably are on, obviously, private communications. And probably like, do you feel comfortable bringing this home? Do you feel safe coming home in this? And I have a feeling that there is some uncertainty with those two astronauts, Sonny and them. I have a feeling there's some uncertainty, which is why they're not just saying, oh, we'll just come home, I have a big feeling, and NASA feels the pressure. NASA is quickly trying to be like, oh no, they can come home. Yeah. There's pressure. There's more pressure on them since Columbia. Since Columbia in 2003, this is probably the most well, let's start this out. Let's start the first thing out. The first thing being is that the whole communication system, when they leaked air to ground on that training exercise with Crew 9 about a possible dead commander, that already had them in hot seat. They were like, oh, shit. Now, we thought we possibly had a commander dead in space, to where now we have a bucket of bolts, thanks to Boeing, the same company who's losing doors and having landing gears fail and all this shit, has that going on. Like, it's just bad all the way around. It's absolutely bad all the way around. No matter what they do, there's never going to be a very, very, very pure best case scenario. It's all best effort at this time. It's all best effort. But I am going to venture off here. I am getting ready for Tuesday. Hi, brother. Tuesday, we have the Falcon Heavy launch out of Cape Canaveral. Falcon Heavy is big. Falcon Heavy is very, very big. It's very powerful. Not as powerful as Starship, but Florida. Cheryl, if you're in there, I see you there commenting. You're gonna notice a difference. You're gonna notice a difference between the between the Falcon 9 and the Falcon. So this is Yeah, we'll do this. Because I'm curious what we may see out of it. Let's go. It's the GO satellite. So it's actually for the National Weather Service, believe it or not. But I'm trying to figure out what is what on this. Because it's like... Yeah, it's 1 day, 17 hours. So... 21 Zulu. So we're looking at like 5 p.m.-ish on Tuesday. 5 p.m.-ish. That is giving me some issues. So... Going with my handy dandy... thing. Hello. Come on, open up. Open up. 5:16. So I was actually good. My Zulu timing was not off. I'm learning Zulu time, which is UTC time. So 5:16. It is going to be the Falcon Heavy. It is going to be the 10th mission. It's the first Falcon Heavy of 2024. It's the first Falcon Heavy of 24. It's a geostationary transfer orbit. That's interesting. Cool. The expendable flight number 1. Okay, so... Oh, wow. So the landing zones are going to be the first flights as well. This is going to be interesting. So this is going to be a very weird orbit. Interesting. Okay, so... Yeah, I'm trying to see here. Goes you. I'm trying to pull up the trajectory and try to see here. Okay, so it's gonna be a... Is it gonna be straight out? So supposedly, it's supposed to be a straight out. You guys can see there. And it's supposed to be straight to the east, I think. $90 million to launch this? Dang. No, okay, I found no. So... $90 million later on Tuesday, there's going to be a Falcon Heavy launch coming out of 39A. 39A. So, yeah. So, 39A. 39A was where they launched Skylab from. 39A is where they launched Apollo from. That's where they launched Space Shuttle from, and now SpaceX has inherited it as well. So, 39A. Dang. So, that makes me... Let me see here. I'm curious if we have, I wonder if we have a feed from the Cape. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm thinking it's, I don't think it's out at the pad yet. I don't think that it's out at the pad yet. I bet you that they're waiting to take her out to the pad just because. I mean, that's a very expensive rocket. That's a very big rocket. There's a lot at stake here, you know. But, guys, I am going to call it a night here. I appreciate it all. I appreciate the launches. And, Tuesday. Plan for Tuesday. We'll hopefully we don't scrub. Hopefully we have a good launch on Tuesday. So I appreciate everyone. I hope you all have a good dandy night. Thank you guys very much. You guys are awesome.